Welcome guys to another episode on this channel, and in today's video what I want to talk about is something that has been very important to me in life, what has been a long journey, and what also has been the most fundamental shaping momentum in life for me. I know that basically today's episode, I had different names for it, but I wanted to call it Become the Man You Want to Become. But in the retrospective, when I'm thinking what I really want to share with you is to more become the man you can become. And that's really hard because for a lot of us, I can even sometimes think if you're a male person, you can call yourself a man. Because the man word should basically be when you transcend into your manhood, from a childhood, from a boyhood, to really a manhood who has a set of values, goals, knows the direction, is strong physically, mentally, emotionally. There's a lot that I have seen that goes into it, and basically even myself, I cannot fully tell and say that, oh, I'm a man and everything, because it's a very long journey that I'm trying to really get on. And along the way, it's really muddy, it's really hard, it is really challenging, it is really scary, it is very... Sometimes you feel like a failure, sometimes you feel like you just want to give up, sometimes you just don't know. And so that's kind of what I want to share with you today, and really connect it to the Bible, because for me to really transcending from a boyhood to a manhood, I really have to give a credit to the Bible. Myself cannot really fully say I know everything, and I will never know, most likely. But it is the journey that really got me. Instead of facing on goals and I need to have this car, this house by this age, and have this and this and this at age of 25 or 30, that have always been the fundamental pain and suffering and not feeling good enough, that I was like, what do I do? What do I do? Like, I don't know. I don't know myself. I feel aimless. I feel hopeless. I feel like a failure. I feel like my life is not fulfilling. My life is just this gigantic mess. And I 100% know that a lot of men out there, whoever is watching, if it's one of you, I know you. I know that it has been a long suffering, a journey of pain that you've gone through, but you're still here. You're still here. And I think if you're still here, that itself is just magical. A magical thing. So it's kind of a little, I guess, intro into the video. And I've wrote some lists and parts in the Bible that I want to focus on a little bit. So I give you the intro. This is gonna be very honest, raw, authentic of some parts. And I think a lot of this comes, especially for me, it came from like having not a father figure. And having not a father figure can mean a lot of things, right? Like maybe your father passed away and he left you with a very not sufficient portray of what a man should look like, how a man should behave like, what a man should look like, how a man take care of himself and others. or your parents got divorced and your father was never there and just left and never spoke to you again, or he was there but emotionally, mentally, he didn't teach you anything, always was there for like a, a victim playing person, that happens quite a lot, or some other type of situation. And I think especially nowadays and in 21st century, there is a big unfortunate, pandemic, I would kind of call it, where a lot of men are left in such a position where, you know, you feel like you're aimless, you don't know your goals, you're struggling, you change jobs every 3 6 months, you don't have enough money, you don't take care of your body, you don't take care of your mental state, you don't take care of your emotional state. And that's where we see a lot of these, whatever it's in the US, like mass shootings or domestic abuse, or behaving like a, just directionless, emotionally abused boy that just doesn't have it together. And it's not shaming anyone who's in the situation. It's just I think I found it so important to name what it is and actually help, like find help, share this, that what I've gone through was absolutely directionless, emotionless abuse, lust out of control, just so much boyish behavior in like when you're supposed to be an adult. And it's okay, it happens, it's the nature of how we evolve. But what it's not okay is to stay there. It's never gonna be okay to stay in such a misery. And through that you only find a way through action and discipline, and really find your direction, whatever that might be. But in my case, and that's where I want to share this very authentic experience, is up and recently it's been like I would say a learning journey that I was on, and I still am. Jeez. But it's been really helpful to discover the Christianity in my previous videos, how I went to the monastery, and after that how I lost the connection with God, and then reconnecting again. And I still find myself that to fully understand the scope, like I'm a believer, but I'm not a fully comprehend, acknowledged, know it all in what the Bible is about and everything. Like I'm just learning as I go, and that's what I want to share with you. But basically what I found in this episode is the lack of direction without a father figure, right? So that can leave you feeling lost, feeling hopeless, feeling without direction. And I found something in the Bible that really sparked me. So if you may be a parent that is gonna expect a child or something, in the Proverbs 22:6, it said, "Train up a child in a way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it." And so you can see that in a lot of men, or even females, but let's focus on the men, that if you give your child all the meanings for life, how to hold a value, how to hold a standard, how to act when he sees the wrongdoing on the other side of the street, when you see someone's physically abusing a woman or sexually abusing a woman, which happened to me recently, seeing on the metro. it felt very, very strange, and like what to do about it. So I think it's really important to, not leave your child without any role and any teaching. Like, it's why we have all these issues in the society. And so I find this verse emphasizing the importance really in guidance in one's child's life. But then again, in Psalms 68:5, a father to the fatherless, a defender of widows, is God in his holy dwelling. Right? So if you go to the Bible, it's, you see God as this figure that was here and still you can feel the presence, is the father figure, is the hold of all the values and standards and just the direction of life. And what I wrote here, it can serve as also a message of hope to your view, that when you feel lost, reminding yourself that even the absence of a parent, you can find a direction and purpose through God. And I find it so beautiful that there's this wisdom in these words that you can literally use for yourself once you want to go through this journey and fixing what's broken and what's is dangerous in some ways. If you don't do it, it's Matthew 6 through 19 to 21. Do not store up for your sorry, jeez, man. Matthew 6 19 to 21. Do not store up for yourself treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourself treasures in heaven. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And I find this a very inspiring when you decide to go on this journey, because basically I think what happens really is you start chasing material, cars, the lust out of control. Like, you try to chase women to fill your holes and gaps that you really should possibly fill through God's words and discipline and direction and control and just absolute mode of I want to become the man I can become. Otherwise you just are lost, directionless, and you just moving around from place to place, from job to job, and necessarily you just buy the latest iPhone. I need to have it because I'm gonna feel good. I'm gonna buy this Boss shirt or something. That's not what's gonna bring you to the best version you want to become. And if you set up yourself on this journey, it's not gonna be pretty. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be challenging. Many times you will fall. Many times you will rise. Many times you will give up. Many times you will just come back. And I found this really beautiful. And also, it focuses on the spiritual man and richness within yourself that you really need to fulfill your journey, but also to become the best version. And Proverbs 69, in their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. So even if you try to do your journey and everything through God, that's where you really submerged yourself into the pond of godness and His righteousness and everything that He can bring you and teach you about how to really become the best version of a man you can become, how to live through His words, how to behave through His words, and your day-to-day life, how you can really narrow it and become the master of your life through him. I found in this absolutely just amazing that this is in the Bible, and these teachings are just great. And there's another one that I found. I'm sorry if I will butcher it. My English in these kind of things is not the best, but Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And when you try to find a way to overcome your obstacles, God will strengthen you. God will give you the strength that you need to overcome every obstacle. If you like me, who struggle with addiction and overcoming it and basically suffering so much damage internally, and then coming to God asking for forgiveness to yourself, because when you, for example, really struggling with addiction and just not being able to get yourself to a better position where you can take it to a better position and work from there to better yourself, it's such a damaging, destructive behavior that even God, if you do not believe and ask him for forgiveness for yourself, ask him for his help, I guarantee you will not be able to overcome it. And so when I came to God and started, praying and asking for the strength to really to get the strength, I received it. And that it is here, it's just beautiful. And another one, Corinthians 16:13. Be on your guard, stand firm in the faith, be courageous, be strong. And that's what we men must be, strong. It's not about that you cannot be vulnerable. It's not about you cannot express your feelings, your fears, and be, vulnerable to the people you trust. And if you have the emotional, mental intelligence to really recognize and understand the patterns of if you become vulnerable and people use it against you, well, still, find the love for the people, but those are not the people you want to be around. So I think a lot of men struggle with this, that I cannot show my emotions, I cannot be vulnerable, I cannot do this and this. You really can, but it's about how you are vulnerable, how you show your emotions, and still keep your strength, keep your values, keep your standards, keep your what you believe in. Like, it's about the internal strength, that you know that you're on the right path, but you can still allow yourself to be vulnerable, but you are not going off the pattern of your values. This is what I believe in, this is how I'm going to get there, this is what I do. I treat people with respect, I don't curse to them, I don't raise my voice, I don't get angry, I control my emotions, but I can still be vulnerable, I can still express what I feel. And I found this so beautiful that the God's words gives you this knowledge. So that's kind of what I wanted to share with you through the God's words, and how you really can become a strong person, a strong man that holds to his values, is not controlled by the lust, is not controlled by emotional pain through boyish, childish behaviors that are just bubbling inside of him, and he has no idea how to take the direction, how to take the right steps. And by all means, this is not to tell you that you cannot change it. This is about to show you what you can really do, that there is help, that there is a way, that there is the light at the end of the tunnel. It's a journey, and through this I believe that you really discover how much strength there can be inside of you if you just fall in love with God and with the journey to really just change your life and become the man you want to become. I just want to thank you for actually, if you made it this far, I don't know how long it's going to be, like 23, 24 minutes. This is like the longest probably episode I recorded. And I just want to leave a few words before I, finish and end this video. But I really want to emphasize that, become a man you want to become is much more and much more complex than what I had a chance to really squeeze in this time. But I just want to leave you with one thing. If you find yourself struggling, if you find yourself on the verge of giving up, if you find yourself that there is no help for you, that there's nothing that can be done to help you out, trust me, there is. And if you need, watch this video again, or watch an educational videos on Bible, or just overall grab a book, go online. You can download an app. It's called Bible, Holy Bible, and read through either the Old Testament is also, I find, very powerful and very acknowledgeable in terms of what you can learn from it, but it's much harder to really get through it, and it takes time. But that's the journey. Like going with God and through God and learning from Him is a long journey. And that's the journey that if you fall in love, He will come and save you. He will come for help, and He will come to strengthen your pain, that you essentially will turn into your fire inside of you that will go through everything, and you will become the man you can become. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.